Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur, back again. I make crappy videos every day, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single one. And today, something interesting, surprising, welcome, refreshing happened yesterday. And that was an interview that Joe Biden did on the Morning Joe morning talk show on MSNBC, specifically not with Scarborough, but with Mika Brzezinski, I think is her name, the co-host of the show. And I think they're a pair. I think they're like dating or married. But anyway, whatever. So, of course, if you are aware of the news, and I made a video on it a while ago, Joe Biden has a sexual harassment claim hanging over his head. And this has been going on maybe for like a month. I guess it's been out there, but really not covered that much. However, that seems to be changing. Again, if you have not heard, back in the 90s, there was a woman staffer. Well, of course, it's a woman. Tara Reid, it was her name, and she alleged that Joe Biden inappropriately touched her in some vulgar places. Her claim isn't Joe Biden is sniffing her hair or something like that. There's like some penetration involved with fingers. Okay, I said enough. So, but she really hasn't come forward with it until now. And so there's some doubt on that. Like, where were you when he was running for president all these times before, when he was vice president with Obama? So it's a little curious, of course. I'll get to that with the timing, but whatever. Believe all women, correct? So, that's where we're at, and it has kind of been buried. She has not been on any. Tara Reid has not been on any news stations. I think she got invited to go talk on Fox because nobody else wanted to have her on, but she didn't want to. She's a Democrat. I guess she is a Elizabeth Warren supporter, so she's not a Republican. She was afraid if she went on a Fox News show, her claim would become politicized and then devalued. But I don't know if that. I think I had read that because no one else was calling, she was just. I guess I have to get my story out there, but I don't think she has yet. So we will see. Or maybe she's just declined their offer. But I guess the next best thing is someone in the media actually took Joe Biden to task over this. That's the story, okay? In the morning show, Mika Brzezinski came on with Joe Biden, or Joe Biden came on their show, and she just kind of point blank asked Joe Biden about these allegations, and what is his comment? What is his response? And here's Joe Biden, and he's between a rock and a hard place, right? I mean, because of everything that's happened before, specifically the Brett Kavanaugh debacle from a few years back, he needs to be very, very. I mean, this is obviously a touchy ground, anyways, but that is hanging over the head. How Democrats and Biden and others behaved during this Brett Kavanaugh investigation, where a woman with a fuzzy recollection and very little collaborating evidence came forward with claims of assault from a very long time ago by a young beer-swilling Brett Kavanaugh. And that woman was Christine Blasey Ford, all over the news, all over the media. She was constantly everywhere. It was front page material for a while. Democrats were pushing her out there. The accusation was enough evidence of guilt. The FBI investigated this, and every Democrat stood up for not Blasey Ford, but women in general, and basically her accusation was as good as gold, I guess you could say. And nothing came of this. Nothing was really found. They couldn't find really anyone to support her claim, and he's on the Supreme Court. Now, fast forward a couple years, and surprise, you play with fire, you are going to get burned. Joe Biden now, people are questioning a little the accusation itself, right? But on the other side is just as big as a story is the media silence on the whole issue, right? If we believe all women, Why are we not believing Tara Reid? Why is she not getting the same treatment? Why is this not being treated as seriously as before? And in the past week or two, you've seen a number of politicians, Democrats, come out and support Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi. I believe Joe Biden because this is Joe Biden, right? Or Kristen Gillibrand, and it's just lots of Democrats who were holding Kavanaugh pitchforks are now conveniently, well, this is a little different. This is not the same. We can't rush to judgment. Yes, it's and it's like, so again, going back to the whole point of this, Mika Brzezinski stood up, right, and did a solid. She did her job. Imagine that, and asked Joe Biden again about these allegations. Now Biden is deflecting, and I'll link the video here if you haven't seen it. And again, between rock and a hard place. Well, it's a serious thing, but it didn't happen, and that's that. Joe Biden's probably expecting some softball questions in the morning. It's MSNBC, and probably a little surprised that this wasn't what we agreed on. So anyway, she comes back and asks him again, right? Not good enough, right? Where do you stand, and what are you going to say to this? And Biden is like, this doesn't happen. So he, to his credit, he kind of stood there a little bit and just kept repeating his same lame excuse. Nothing happened. Again, it's a serious accusation, and not calling her like a liar and a horrible person. He's not really throwing her under the bus. He's just saying that I don't remember, this didn't happen, that type of thing. Brzezinski again comes back again, and she flat out tells him, I'm just going to keep asking different ways until you get the answer, right? I guess, she asked him, why are you not releasing your Senate record? Why? Or he's like, I guess there's a record of everything you do and say in the Senate. It's stored somewhere, and it's under lock and key. Why don't you release this? Or why don't you at least, there's nothing there, so we won't. Why don't you let us search Tara Reid's name in your records and see what pops up? Well, I can't let you do that, Joe Biden says, because there's nothing there. There's no reason to search because there's nothing. If there's nothing there, then let's see, right? So, not a great response from Biden, but again, very refreshing to see somebody in the news do their job. Do you see what I'm saying here? This is what you're supposed to do, right? I'm not saying that Joe Biden is guilty. I'm not saying that this happened. I'm going to take the same stance, call me crazy, that I did during the Kavanaugh thing, is that there needs to be an investigation. There needs to be a trial, right? There's something here. So we have laws in this country, innocent until proven guilty. It applied to Kavanaugh. It applies to Biden. That's why we have laws. Equal protection under the government, not equal protection according to political party, right? So let's hold Biden to that same standard and let's see what happens. Now, again, there are some people who have friends and relatives, and a Larry King episode that got deleted mysteriously. That's another video. But there seems to be some collaborating hearsay, and that might be all we get from this. I'm not saying sick the FBI on this, because that's not really their job, although that's what we did with Kavanaugh. But, let's let the law do its job, and let's kind of see what happens here. But let's be fair, and let's not be hypocritical, like the media is, like Democrats are, and Brzezinski is, like I said, doing her job and calling this out. She even did a tweet later, I think, to clarify the interview. She said it was not very comfortable, but she felt it had to be done, based specifically on how Kavanaugh was treated. And she says, basically calls out the Democrats, and if Democrats and how they behave then, as opposed to now, if they weren't wrong then are they wrong now with this two-phase Me Too if only blue, or Me Too unless blue treatment that they're getting? And again, it would be so much nicer. It would be so much better if this was just the norm these days. Instead of playing politics with the news, if the news did its job, right? And actually, vetted politicians and reported on facts and story, which is their they have constitutional protections to do that, right? And not to cover stuff up and not to whitewash, but just let's get the truth out there so we can be informed and know what's going on. You would weed out a lot of bad politicians because they wouldn't survive. That's the whole point, right? You would get stronger politicians, maybe better working government, maybe less scandals because all this stuff would get, sorted out in the beginning before these people get elected into office, and then it blows up into something national. It would be great if the media did its job like Mika did yesterday morning, right? That's the way it should be. You should maybe be a little uncomfortable as a politician going on, because who knows what you're going to be asked. And yes, it's fair. With what has happened before, totally fair game. This is the way it should have been before, and it's the way it should be now. So major props to Mika for, again, doing her job. I don't think this is going away. Again, the media blackout, the media hypocrisy is just as much a part of the story now as the Tara Reade allegation itself. And how could you not see this coming? Are you just going to pretend that in the future every Democrat leader and politician is going to be a saint and never have these issues? People in both parties behave badly, right? And we shouldn't be treating any of them differently. You should be treated one way according to the law, right? Innocent till proven guilty. Let's vet this claim. Let's give them their day in court, whatever it is. But let's follow the procedures that are in place instead of pointing fingers, laying blame, conveniently forgetting certain things, and just being huge hypocrites. The crickets are super deafening right now from the media, from Democrat. It is not surprising. And I can't say told you so, but I mean, like I said, it's not pretty. This isn't going to go away because just add it to another old Biden scandal, and maybe it didn't happen. Again, I can't say. I wasn't there. But because of how they treated Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court hearings, the backlash is that it's time to pay the bill. Does that make sense? They're getting their comeuppance a little bit, and I hope that people wake up and see the blatant agendas and how the media has really dropped the ball for so long now and let us all down. So that's refreshing to see. Again, I hope nothing happened. I hope nobody got injured or hurt here, but more questions need to be asked, and more people need to look in the mirror when it comes to this. So that's all. Thanks for watching. I got things to do today, busy day. I know you do too, but I do appreciate it. And this is Failed Entrepreneur. I'll catch you later. Bye.